It was supposed to be a simple cross-country trip, a bit of sightseeing, some fresh air, and a chance to clear my head. Just me, my old Honda Civic, and the open road. I'd made it halfway through Nebraska when things started to feel wrong. The highway stretched endlessly, the cornfields on either side growing taller and darker as the sun dipped below the horizon. My GPS warned me of a detour ahead, construction, it claimed. So, like any obedient traveler, I followed the reroute. That's when I found myself on County Road 13. The pavement quickly turned to gravel, and the gravel gave way to dirt. My car jostled and groaned, headlights cutting through an almost unnaturally thick fog. The trees lining the road felt too close, their gnarled branches clawing toward the car. Every so often, I'd catch something flickering in the corner of my eye, a shadow darting between the trunks, always just out of focus. I convinced myself it was my imagination. Long drives can do that, you know. But then I saw the first sign. A weathered wooden board hammered into the ground, its white paint cracked and peeling. Keep going weird, sure. But maybe it was some local joke, I thought. A farmer with a twisted sense of humor. Then, a few miles later, another sign. Don't stop. This one was bent at an odd angle, like someone, or something, had tried to yank it out of the ground. My stomach tightened. The road ahead was pitch black, my high beams barely piercing the fog. I considered turning back, but the detour had been winding, and I wasn't sure I could retrace my path in the dark. And then my radio crackled. It had been silent since I left the main highway, but now there was a low, rhythmic hum, like static, but pulsing. It grew louder, more insistent, until a voice cut through, "Keep driving." I slammed on the brakes, my heart hammering in my chest. The car idled on the dirt road, and the fog seemed to close in around me. I switched off the radio, my hands trembling. That's when the knocking started. 3 sharp taps on the driver's side window. I whipped my head around, expecting to see, I don't know, someone. But there was nothing there. Just the fog and the trees and the growing sense that I'd made a terrible mistake. I floored it. The signs came faster now, appearing in my headlights every 100 yards or so. You can't turn back. It wants you. Don't look in the mirrors. That last one sent a shiver down my spine. Instinctively, my eyes flicked to the rearview mirror. And that's when I saw it. A figure, sitting in the back seat. I swerved, nearly sending the car into the ditch. When I looked again, it was gone. Get a grip, man, I muttered to myself, gripping the wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. But the air in the car felt different, thicker, colder. Like I wasn't alone anymore. Up ahead, my headlights caught movement, a shape in the road. I slowed down, squinting to make it out. A man stood in the middle of the path, his face obscured by a wide-brimmed hat, his body wrapped in a tattered trench coat. I honked. He didn't move. I honked again, more forcefully this time, but he just stood there, his head tilting slightly as if, studying me. And then, with a slow, deliberate motion, he raised his hand and pointed behind me. I didn't want to look. Every instinct screamed at me not to look. But I couldn't help it. The back seat was empty. When I turned back to the road, the man was gone. I slammed the accelerator, desperate to get off that cursed road. The gravel churned under my tires as I sped forward, my heart pounding so loud I could hear it over the engine. The fog grew thicker, almost alive, curling and twisting around the car like it wanted to pull me off the road. My headlights barely cut through it, and I gripped the wheel tighter, praying for a glimpse of civilization. That's when I saw the house. A rickety old structure loomed out of the mist, its windows dark and lifeless. It sat just off the road, its porch sagging like it was exhausted from holding itself up. A sign stood out front, much like the ones I'd been passing, "Last Chance." I don't know what possessed me, but I slowed the car. The thought of stopping was insane, but something about the house, it felt like it was watching me. The knocking started again. This time, it wasn't on the window. It came from inside the car. Tap. 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 I glanced at the passenger seat, and my stomach dropped. A handprint. A perfect, smeared handprint on the inside of the windshield, too large to be mine. "Nope," I whispered, my voice trembling. I floored it again, skidding as I pushed the car to its limit. My breath came in ragged gasps, my eyes darting from the road to the mirrors, half expecting to see something, or someone, reaching for me. And then I heard it. A low, guttural growl, like a predator just behind my ear. It wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from the back seat. "Who's there?" I shouted, my voice cracking. The growl stopped, replaced by a voice. Soft. Female. "You shouldn't have looked back." I screamed, jerking the wheel as I turned to see the impossible. There she was. A woman, pale and gaunt, her hollow eyes fixed on me. She sat impossibly still, her matted hair hanging over her face, her lips curled into a twisted smile. Before I could process what I was seeing, her face began to change. Her mouth widened unnaturally, stretching across her face until it was a gaping black void. The car jerked as I hit something in the road. My head smacked the steering wheel, and for a moment, everything went dark. When I came to, the car was still. My headlights illuminated the fog-shrouded road ahead, but the house, the woman, everything was gone. Or so I thought. In the eerie silence, I heard it again. Tap. 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 This time, it was coming from the trunk. My whole body froze. The knocking on the trunk was faint but deliberate, each tap more rhythmic, more insistent. Tap. 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 "Get out of here. Just drive. Don't look. Don't think about it," I whispered to myself, but my hands wouldn't move. My entire body was locked in a cold sweat, glued to the seat. Then the tapping stopped. Silence. Until something scratched the inside of the trunk. It was slow at first, a metallic scrape like nails dragging across sheet metal. Then it got faster, louder, as if whatever was inside was clawing its way out. Nope. 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 I threw the car into drive and floored it, gravel spitting from my tires. The trunk rattled violently now, the noise growing louder and more frenzied. It sounded like whatever was inside would burst out at any second. The road twisted and turned, but I barely registered it. My entire focus was on the rearview mirror, half expecting the trunk to explode open, something crawling out to tear me apart. And then it hit me. I couldn't outrun it. Whatever was in that trunk had followed me from the start. The signs, the voice, the knocking, it all led here. To this moment. The realization made my stomach churn, but I couldn't stop. Not on this road. Not in this place. That's when the trunk popped open. The car lurched as the latch gave way, and the trunk lid slammed against the back window. I screamed, slamming on the brakes. The car skidded to a stop, the headlights casting long shadows into the fog. For a moment, nothing happened. I held my breath, gripping the wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. Slowly, I turned my head to look behind me. The trunk was wide open, but it was empty. I exhaled shakily, my heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe the latch just gave out after all the bumps on the road. But then I saw it. Something was crawling out from underneath the car. At first, it looked like an animal, low to the ground, moving in jerky, unnatural motions. But as it dragged itself into the headlights, I realized it wasn't an animal. It was her. The woman from the back seat. Her limbs bent in ways they shouldn't, her skin pale and slick like something pulled from the bottom of a lake. Her mouth hung open, impossibly wide, that same black void gaping where her face should have been. She dragged herself toward the car, her hollow eyes locked on mine. "No," I muttered, my voice shaking. "No, no, no." I slammed the car into reverse, tires squealing as I backed away. But she moved faster, her limbs cracking and twisting as she skittered toward me like a spider. The radio crackled to life. That same pulsing static, that same voice, "You can't leave. It's too late." The woman lunged at the car, slamming her hands against the windshield. Her mouth stretched impossibly wider, the void inside swirling with something. Shapes. Shadows. I couldn't take it anymore. I screamed and floored it, the car fishtailing as I tore back down the road. The woman clung to the hood for a moment, her empty eyes staring into mine, before she slid off and disappeared into the fog. I didn't stop driving until I hit the next town, my hands shaking as I pulled into a gas station. The attendant gave me a strange look as I stumbled out of the car, mumbling something about a monster on the road. But when I turned to point at the car, it was clean. No scratches. No dents. And the trunk was closed. The only thing out of place was a single handprint on the inside of the windshield. I left that car at the gas station and never looked back. But sometimes, when I'm alone at night, I hear it. I didn't sleep that night. After abandoning the car, I checked into the first motel I could find, a dingy, run-down place with flickering neon lights that buzzed like a swarm of flies. The clerk barely glanced at me as he slid the key across the counter. Room 12. The room was small, the bed creaked like it might collapse if I breathed too hard, and the carpet was damp in places I didn't want to think about. But it didn't matter. It had locks, and I wasn't on that road anymore. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the curtains, half expecting to see her face pressed against the window. Every sound made me jump, the hum of the air conditioner, the groan of pipes in the walls, even my own breathing. And then the lights went out. The room was plunged into darkness, the hum of the air conditioner replaced by an unsettling silence. I fumbled for my phone, using the flashlight to illuminate the room. That's when I saw it. The handprint on the inside of the window. It wasn't there when I checked in. I stood frozen, my mind racing. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe the moisture on the glass caught the light wrong. Maybe. But then the tapping started. Tap.